everyone, my guest for this episode is Aya Tariq, a New York City-based makeup artist. Her work has been published in magazines such as LadyGunn, Solstice, Man of Metropolis, Metropolis Sport, and Paper. She has worked on many commercial and fashion projects for Under Armour, Perrier, Walmart, Ssense, Apparis, and New York Fashion Week. You can view her work at Aya Tariq, MUA, and her website, ayatariq.com.
That's right.
So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and talking to you.
So you're episode 4, so I'm very excited to have you on. And so just overall, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to, like how you've been dealing with COVID-19?
Lots of food and baking in the beginning.
Right, yeah.
And then also running myself to the ground by being like, I have no excuse not to be proactive now. I'm trapped at home and I should get shit done. But then after a while, it's like I was so burned out. And I also have a daughter. So transitioning from regular school into like doing school with her from home was such an adjustment for all of us in like our routine and everything. So yeah, a lot like I thought I'm going to be more creative in the beginning, but I wasn't. Mm-hmm. I actually became more creative and more organized. I want to say towards, what is it, February, March, like April? Mm-hmm. That's kind of when I felt like, okay, I'm like realizing what's actually going on in the world. Like I've been processing this whole time, and maybe I've been rushing and pushing myself a little too much. And kind of fell into like a really nice routine when I'm like, okay, maybe I should just like see what my moods are and kind of like be interested in myself rather than being like, this is what I'm supposed to do, but kind of like honor my own needs and honor like what my body likes to do at certain times. So I'm not a morning person at all.
I feel like I don't have to wake up as early as I
wake up early actually,
right.
But I cannot be creative early morning. Like I see some people posting on Instagram doing their own makeup at like 4 in the morning or 8 in the morning. I'm like, I want to drink my coffee and do like mindless tasks. Mm-hmm. Like if I have to finish the dishes, I'll do that. If I have to like, you know, like make breakfast or like make coffee, anything that's like kind of like autopilot, I would do in the morning. But anything that's creative, like my peak creativity is always like around noonish to 3. So it was really like reassuring that, oh, I'm not lazy. I just have certain times where my creativity peaks and my brain is like thinking clearly and I'm not like distracted with catching up on emails in the morning and having like my daughter, like I give her all the attention at that time, like in the morning and then later at night. So this time is just for me. So I think in a way it was like to each their own, but like I feel like it's always like the learning experiences that we need the most, especially like about ourselves, comes wrapped in this like really bad wrapping and like that's kind of like what COVID is to me. It's like I learned so much about myself and I really enjoyed learning about myself. It was just hard to unpack.
Right, to process what was happening.
Yeah, and it's just like I want to like just say to other people, like just give yourself time. And like for a minute I wasn't creative and I was just like, who cares? There is a pandemic going on. Right. We're broke. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, literally. So just like have fun, watch a good movie, make a nice meal. And if you feel something coming like to your mind, I think acting on it right at that moment is the best thing I learned. It's like, oh, I have an idea. And strangely, my ideas comes between 1 and 3 p.m. So I'm just going to act on it. Right.
Yeah, it's like a little bit about like less being on like other people's schedules. And it's like you're not forced to be on a schedule now. So you could just really just do whatever you want, plan your time however you want.
Yeah, as long as it's planned, I feel like and this is the thing with us creatives, we're like, oh well, I don't know when inspiration comes, blah blah blah. And it's like, but if things are scheduled ahead of time, like, you know, and I'm not saying like at 1:30 to 2:30 you work out. It's like between this time to this time, I'm gonna get this thing done. Between this time and this time, this is the most important thing of my day that I have to get done. I think it's just we need the flexibility, but it's also like gives us like having like a flexible schedule also like gives you the freedom to be creative later, you know, and not having like all these distractions around. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, like you might have a set time, but it's not like it has to be specifically. You can move things around, but at least you have an idea of what you're gonna do for the day. I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I think the thing is writing like things down for me. Like if I put it in my phone, it's not gonna get done. I have to like see it.
Yeah.
So I have to do it on a piece of paper. That's what I learned, and then being like, okay, so. Of course, I'm going to have breakfast and whatever. So, like, by 12, I'm going to get this thing done. And by between, like, 1 and 3, I'm going to, you know, like, work out, you know. Just things like that keeps me, like, from being... Because I'm a very anxious person. Like, I wake up with so much anxiety. Like, the minute I open my eyes, I have so much anxiety. So having some sort of routine... keeps my brain from being like scattered and overwhelmed and wanting to do everything at once, to being like, okay, this is what you need to do today, and this is what you need to do today. And if you get these 2 things done, good job. If you get more done, good for you. Like you're killing it, and it's so like, you know, that's how I work.
Yeah, it keeps like your brain in check of like, okay, relax.
Right.
We have this. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I know you were born and raised in Saudi Arabia, and then you pursued a college degree here.
You've done your research.
I did. I looked
oh
it
my
up.
God, I like this.
Thing. Yeah. So why did you decide to become like? First of all, what did you study like in college?
You won't believe this. I studied teaching English as a second language.
Oh, okay, cool. That's actually pretty cool. I like when you know, teaching. Yeah, my mother was a teacher, so I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. What did she teach?
She was an elementary school teacher. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
I taught English for a little bit. I liked teaching, but I just didn't like teaching English.
Right, you're like I enjoyed teaching, but maybe English wasn't like the subject that you. What subject would you like to have taught kids?
Like now, I would love to teach makeup.
Right,
I love having conversation with creative people, and I feel weird saying like I want to teach makeup, because it's like it's a thing that like depends on someone's taste and aesthetics and how they were raised, when were they influenced in their life, what's the art they were influenced by, or fashion or whatever. But I think there's always basic things that you need to know about the industry and about makeup, because like at the end of the day, like there is color theory, and there is
like hygiene.
There is hygiene, there is, you know, like you're basically playing with chemicals and pigments. Like you need to know how these things like interact with each other. So I feel like I want, that's part of the things that I want. Like I want to be like educating in like the makeup field for sure at some point. Yeah.
Have you considered making like your own like course? Like, yeah.
It's a work in process.
Right. Yeah.
It takes time. And I've been like, I mean, makeup tutorials have always been on my stories and stuff like that. But I definitely want to do something. So I feel like when I do that, it's more for everyday women.
Right. Okay.
Where I also want to be able to teach other makeup artists, especially like when it comes to like people of colors, like Middle Eastern, Latinas, and like people who can really afford a big tuition. Like I went to school in New York for makeup, and it was so much money. Like, and
it's a lot of money.
It's so much money. It's like $20,000 could have bought a car. And yes, of course I learned some stuff, but I just felt like it's not the school's fault, because there is also like, what do you call it, like Department of Ed in New York, like
they have to approve the curriculums and stuff.
And you have to go through things at a certain time, and I don't think creativity should be rushed, or should be like condensed into 6 months only, it takes time for your brain to, in your eyes, to adjust and like see colors a certain way and learn about products. So yeah, I definitely want to do something for makeup artists for sure. I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out a way where people don't pay too much money. I just don't think it's fair that just because you can't afford something that you don't get to at least have someone to like ask questions to. Speaking of, if people go into my Instagram link, I actually I added a tab last night that's called New Creatives when they click on the link. And it's, I think it's a 30-minute for free to speak to anyone who's interested in the creative field. And, or someone who feels like they want to, like, let's say they're like, work in an office and want to transition to something creative and they just don't know, or like someone have anxiety about sending emails or something. I just want to give back because I feel that so many people took the time to talk to me or look through my emails. It was like, take this out. This is not professional. Don't say this. Don't do this on set. Like just little advice here and there that I felt like, I was like, wow, you are really big in your career and you didn't have to do this for me. And I just want to give a little bit back if I can. So if someone interested, please go into the link. I do want people to take advantage of this like opportunity.
What is the tab called again, just to remind us?
New Creatives.
New Creatives.
Yeah, it's a link tree that's on my link in my bio. So if you click on it, it should be the first tab. Oh, sorry. It should be the first tab, like called New Creatives. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was actually a question I was gonna ask you. Like, I know you studied at the Makeup Forever Academy. Like, I was gonna ask you, do you think it was worth it?
It was. I have so many people that I keep in touch with, so it's definitely worth it because it feels like it introduced me to amazing people, like my friend Ambreen. She is an amazing makeup artist, and we met there and we clicked right away, and we're still friends. And she's like my ride and die or die, you know. Like we went through the industry together, we lived together afterwards. My teacher Flo is still there. She's one of the instructors at the academy. She's so nice and so great, and she's French, so she's very honest.
Yeah.
She's not gonna bullshit you. Like she's gonna tell you what it is. And I felt like maybe at the time it was like, oh my God, she's hurting my feelings, but I'm so grateful to have had someone who's like, you don't always need me to clap for you. You also need me to give you like feedback that is going to be beneficial for you.
Right. Because now you're not going to know what you're doing wrong. You're just going to keep doing it. Yeah.
And of course the hygiene, the professionalism, and also like the fact that like schools are good for being like, you need to show up on time and you need to have your shit together and you need to do research, and it all depends on the teacher. My advice, try to learn as much as you can. Make a list of people that you want to assist, or people, not just like, oh, I just want to assist this, but why do you want to assist them?
Okay, right.
Are you trying to assist this person because you want to learn the same makeup that they do? Like, is this the field you want to work with? And like, don't go assist an editorial makeup artist if you're only interested in doing just like celebrities film, or just film. Yeah. I always seek like different things. So like assisting and have assisted someone who've done celebrities, and but it's like very like here and there that I do it. Where I assist most of the time, I assist very editorial makeup artists because I like the paint and the pouring paint and the splatters and stuff. But it's all, I feel like it's good to be like a balanced makeup artist as long as you know what your end goal is. Like I know personally I can shift from one style to another. Well, there's people who are like, I just want to assist like editorial makeup artists because they look fun. It's like, do you come up with creative ideas?
Right,
do you understand the tools that they use? Because if you're assisting, it's not about you, it's really about what you bring to the table. and how you can serve that makeup artist and make their day go as smoothly as possible. So it's very important to be knowledgeable on the techniques, the paints, the products, the tools, be able to understand colors, because like if you're doing splatters and colors and painting faces, if you don't know color theory, you're gonna be outed really quickly. So that's basically my advice. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I was gonna mention that I saw you assisted. Like, I know Moises Ramirez. Like, I actually know. Like, I don't personally know him, but I follow him like on Instagram. And I follow.
He's
his career.
amazing.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah, he's probably one of my favorite ones. So like, what was that like? Like assisting people. How did you go about approaching them and asking them if you could assist them?
So there's people that I emailed, and in the beginning, especially, you send like 100 email and you get like 2 back.
Right.
But
yeah.
It's good to get in the habit of hearing no or being ignored, because you're like, that's how you know if you really want to do it or not. Because if you just stopped and you're like, my feelings are hurt, like you need thicker skin.
Yeah.
In this industry, there's people that I went to, like for example with Moises. I met him through an event for the powder group. It was a class, I think it was a master class with him and 2 other makeup artists in different days. And he did a demo for us. And I was just like in awe of him, because first of all, when I came in, he was already there.
Okay.
And then I came in and I was like, oh my God, it's Moises,
yeah.
you know? And I sat down, and then he was talking to Michael DeVellis, who is the founder of the powder group. And Moises got up and he like shook everyone's hands that was in the room.
Okay.
And he was like, hi, I'm Moises. Hi, thank you for coming. And I was like, whoa, like that's amazing that someone wants to have an interaction with,
like a one-on-one with people that they don't even know. Yeah.
So, and then after that, they were like, oh, this is a painting and you can do like an inspo from this painting after the demo. So we saw his style and how he works. So now it's kind of like on us to try to duplicate, but not the same thing, but rather like from an inspo that he gave us, because he's a painter too. And I just like did the makeup and he liked it. And he was like, oh, that's really beautiful. And I really like the colors that you picked for her. And I think everyone just packed their stuff afterwards and left. I packed my stuff as quickly as I can. And I went up to him and I was like, I would really love to assist you.
Right.
I love your work. And he was like, oh yeah, just email me. And I was like, okay. So I emailed him and then I started assisting him. And assisting him is like, I feel like I'm so blessed to have assisted someone like him, because he's very creative, he's very kind, and he's very like clear. Right, yeah. You know, like I feel like I understand his expectations really quickly and I picked up on things really quickly. And it's just like, I never know what to expect when I go on set. Yeah. So it's nice, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we were talking about Moises Ramirez, yeah, and that you assisted him. I see that you assisted a couple other ones, so like, just so you recommended just sending emails out, like approaching them during events.
Send email out, and I just like, because I started getting people like sending me emails about like assisting me, and I can tell like they just want to assist. It's like, send emails to people that you really feel like move you, like their work moves you, right? Not just like to send emails, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you actually appreciate their work.
It's a genuine interest. I feel like that's the most important thing. Then it will show in your email that you're genuinely interested, and it's not like, it's okay to copy paste an email, but it's more important to insert like at least like a little thing like, I like X, Y, and Z about your work. I really like what you did with this like model, blah, blah. Something that just seems like you actually took time to look into their work. Right, yeah. And appreciate it.
You're not just sending to like people that you see that have like, you know, a career or like a lot of followers, that you actually appreciate them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think this is the thing about like fashion industry, I feel like a lot of people are just trying to grab on anything, where if your integrity takes you far and faster than just being like a kiss ass, or
it does,
or someone who doesn't have genuine interest. It's gonna show.
Yeah,
it's gonna show on set, because when, like, and there's people that I was like, oh, should I assist them, should I not assist them, and I had a feeling like I wanted to assist them just because of like the status or something. So I have felt myself a victim of this.
Right.
And then when I'm on set, I was like, I just don't like how they do makeup. This is actually like not for me.
Right.
Like, I would never do makeup like that. And I just started telling them like I'm not available after that, because I knew I would have not been fair to them.
Right.
Because I'm not like, but I'm also like a person who's always like, I want to be genuine, and I hold myself for, like, I hold that standard for myself like really hard. And I never want to feel like I'm taking advantage of anyone. So if I like the person, I like their work, then I'll go assist them. Yeah. You have to also like, the personalities has to mesh together. Sometimes you like someone and you like their work, but then you show up on set and it doesn't work out. Like, your energy is just like not good. Like, I remember I assisted someone, and she just got on set, and I'm always like, how would you like me? Like, I always ask, like, how would you like me to set up your, your
like
kit?
the kit, yeah.
And she just like immediately snapped at me, and she was like, sorry, I'm just snappy. That's just how I am. And I was like, I don't work for people like that.
Yeah.
Like, but even if you don't have a kid at home, but I never want to carry that to home.
To your house, yeah.
Because it's not my daughter's fault that someone
got you mad, yeah.
Like, it's weird to me, because I work on myself so hard. I go to therapy. I like read books, I try to be a calm person as much as I can. So it's hard for me when someone is like, I'm just snappy, that's just how I am. It's like, how about you do something about it? Like, this is the thing, like, we don't have to, like, this is old school. We don't have to tolerate, like,
exactly.
People, like, it's one thing if someone is like in the moment stressed out, but
when it's repeated amount of times,
it just feels
that's just
like
who you are.
It was like, she
It's
literally
like,
said,
she's like, that's
how I am. So if people, like Oprah says, if people show you who they are, just believe them.
Yeah.
And that was a moment I was like, I believe you. That's why I'm never
working here
never
again.
working for you again. Like, I don't care how much money you give me, because that money comes and you feel so dirty. It's like, you compromised your dignity and who you are as a person for someone who just if they had a fight with their boyfriend, they're bringing it to work and dump it at you.
Release it on you,
Where, like, actually a couple of weeks ago, my uncle died while I was on set.
Oh,
and
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. And I got the news when I'm on set, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy, but I just have to finish working. I didn't make the talent. I didn't even tell the talent or made her feel any certain way. I think I told one of the producers and the set designer, because she's a friend of mine, and that was it. Like, I didn't tell the photographer. I don't even think he knows to this day. And I was just like, how is this people's fault for me to be like, I'm gonna snap, or I'm just gonna leave, or it's just, and I'm not saying that everyone deals with grief or like something like that the same way, but it's also important, like, you can have your feelings. I'm all about like, feel whatever you need to feel, but also be aware, like, that people are not responsible for those feelings.
Right.
Like, people, no one went and killed my uncle. He died like of a heart condition. So it's like, I'm not gonna dump my shit on people. There's a difference,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also there's like a difference between occasions where you just feel like that, particularly like, for example, your uncle died, and then there's people who are always like that, like that's just their personality. So it makes a big difference. Like I feel like if that would happen to someone, like their uncle died when they were on set and they would have been like a little like snappy, it would have been like, oh well, it's understandable, like their family, someone in their family just passed away. But when you're like that every day, every time you come in, it's like,
yeah.
oh my gosh,
and like I think she also like followed up like, oh, my other assistant understands it and she's quite fine with it. And I was like,
not me. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm 30. I'm gonna be 32 in a couple of weeks. Like, don't know.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see that you worked with celebrities before. I think you were talking a little bit about that. You assisted makeup artists who did like celebrity makeup, and it just stuck out to me that you did ASAP Ferg, because that's just like one that I was really like, I knew who he was. And how did you get to work? You got to work with them because of the makeup artist you assisted, or through brands?
It was actually, it depends. So ASAP, it was a referral from my friend Jenny.
Okay.
Jenny Sauce is her name, and she is his main makeup artist. So she like passed the job for me because she wasn't in the city, and it was like a good fun job. And then everyone else, I think it was either that I got booked for like a music video, or I worked on a film and I met the celebrity and they liked me, you know, something like that. It was, I love makeup. So it doesn't matter who I'm doing it on. As long as I'm doing it, like just give it to me. I want to do it. I want to practice. I want to meet people. And this big part of why I love makeup, because people sit in your chair and you're like touching their faces and they feel close to you immediately. So they open up to you. So I'm like very nurturing person.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry this happened. Or like, yay, you're doing great, you know? So, I can't remember what I was going to go with that. But that's, yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I think I try my best to do my job well, no matter who is sitting in my chair, you know? Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. That just like stuck out to me. I was like, oh, ASAP Ferg. That's so interesting.
I know people were like, oh my God, you did ASAP Ferg. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was good. No, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good, but it's also like, there's a thing of being like, yeah, it was like my job, I guess.
Yeah, like
you know?
you have to stay professional. Like you can't really
Yeah, and they're people too. Like you're there to offer the service and not overwhelm them. They already have an event, and they already have probably like whatever, like they have issues with their families, or they're worried about a loved one, or they're worried about a record or whatever. So it's good to just like, I feel I don't talk until they are like initiate a conversation with celebrities, or I'm just like, you know, like I try to read the room. I think it's very important as makeup artist, even when you're assisting, is like to read the room and see like what's going on, you know, like there's times where people come in and like this high energy, and I'm like, no. Like people that like on set is like trying to force it. It's like, no, like everyone is calm, everyone is happy. We don't need to be like jumping around to show that we're happy to be here. It's fine. So reading the room is so important for sure.
Like what steps did you take to push your career, like after school? Like did you start I know that you said that you liked school because it was like really good for like networking and meeting people. Like
so when I was in school, actually me and my friend Ambreen started working right away and emailing people. So we did not wait to graduate. We were already like sending emails, and if we don't hear back, we would like go and talk to one of our teachers and show them the email, and they're like, oh, change this, do this, blah blah. So I was already like on some film sets and had like a little bit of experience on my resume. So after film school, I just kept like sending emails and assisting and showing up. And some of the jobs were not like really well paid, but then I met a producer, like, and this is the thing, when a job comes up, it's so important to like take all the info that you can before you agree to the job. So one of the jobs I was like, oh, who is the director? Oh, this director actually works for Refinery 29. and the producer works for the Refinery 29, so maybe something will come out of this.
Right, yeah.
You know? And then it did, thankfully, and I worked on multiple films after that because I met that producer. Her name is Daria, and she's great. And that's how I did Dwell with Christina Hutchinson. And I'm like one of the people that she always calls when it comes to makeup. So you never know. It's like, I don't want to say it's a gamble. It's more of like an investment.
Right.
It's like, maybe you are great at what you do. Maybe you're so good at it, but people don't know who you are. And they didn't have the opportunity to see your talent or experience having you on set. So I think it's so important to not take things personally when you don't get an email back. You know?
Yeah.
I know some people like look down on other people when you like message people and say, I would love to take you for coffee, but I do that because it's important to me, going back to like meshing like personalities, so important to me like to talk to someone and see if I can if I'm able to work on set with them and like figure out their temperament. I'm like very about like reading people and like understanding their moods so I can be the best version of myself on set for them. So I think inviting people, meeting other people in your field, be around people who you really believe in. Like me and Ambreen, like we are each other's cheerleaders. Also Lindsay, like she's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
she's great. I love her. And like every time we have like some doubt, it's like, I feel this way, I feel that way. It's good to reach out and have a community, like have a village, have people that you
have like
know.
a support system. Yeah.
A support system. Like I'm an immigrant. Like I have zero family in the United States beside my daughter. And it's so important to me. Like I knew I needed a community, and I knew I need to give before I get. So I'm happy that I have my friends that are really good support system who show up when I need them to, or I can text them and be like, I'm really fucking scared. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing on set today. Yeah. I think that takes you far. And there is a weird, like, jealousy thing in being competitive with other makeup artists. I honestly love seeing my friends pushing the limit, because then I feel like, oh, I've been lazy. Let me push the limit too. So it's a good jealousy. It's like like if you're jealous of someone and you're looking at them, I think a good question is like not being like, oh, why do they deserve this? But a good question is that, what are they doing that I wish that I was doing right now that I'm not doing?
Right, like you learn from them instead of just sort of be mad about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so important to have really like friends, and especially like women you look up to.
Right.
And I love surrounding myself with like strong women who are like, I want this, and I feel like as women together we can like go places, and that's the thing. Men take each other like, and they're like, but my buddy I need him as a PA on this job. They have no fear doing that. Where like us women, we feel like self-conscious, and there is this weird lie about like we can make it alone. No one makes it alone. I don't think. Everyone needed help. You needed help. I needed help with how I read emails. My friend needed help with how to sort out her Instagram. We all need help. Yeah. It's an interdependency world that we live in. Nothing functions on just being independent. If we're just, it's like, it's impossible, you know? So I really hope, and that's what I'm trying to do with my social media, is like build a community, you know? Right. Well, people can reach out to each other, and people can help each other. And people can be like, I remember, so it's like, do you want to, I think the most important question is like, do you want to be a winner around winners, or do you want to be a winner around losers? Because that's not really winning. Right. Right? So I think that changed my perspective on passing jobs to other makeup artists and stuff like that. Because me and Ambreen actually had a little fallout, and we had to sit down and talk about it. Because when we were in school, they were like, no one should take your client and no one should do this and no one should do that. Yeah, it's true. But at the same time, if I can't make it to a job and I gave it to Ambreen and they liked Ambreen more than me and the client is happy, good for her.
Right.
I want my friend to get the job. I want my friend to get the money. And guess what? Who's she gonna recommend next time?
Yeah, you.
She's not gonna make it. She's gonna remember me, right? She's like, hey, come back. I can't make it today. So that's a really important thing, is like, keep your ego aside and help your friends. Like,
right,
it's fine. We all win. There is enough in the world for all of us to win.
Right, exactly. So, like, just to finish it off, 5 tips for people who want to start out as makeup artists.
Build a community. Number 1, honestly. Do research. Do a lot of research. Like, study history, know your references. Right. Take drawing classes. That's my 3rd advice. That's the thing I've been trying to work on lately. I'm like, where can I take a drawing class? Because I think if you're good at drawing, you can be good at a lot of different things. Definitely take yourself on an artist date. There is a book that I read, and I think that's would be my 5th advice, is like, read books if you can. And it's called The Artist, what is it? The Artist Journal? I can't remember. God, I have to look it up, and maybe you can plug it in.
Okay.
But the whole book is about, like, journaling in the morning and dumping the trash and the random thought that comes up to your mind when you first wake up, and then taking yourself on an artist date. It's like 2 hours a week of just you and your art, no one else around, no friends, no family, no partner, nothing, just you and your makeup. Sit around and play with things. I don't care if you're taking pencils, like eyeliners, and just putting it on your arm and, like, trying to blend them, or like taking paint and then, like, water paint, for example, and topping it with grease and then topping it with powder and seeing how things, like, react together.
Right.
I think us as an artist, we were, at some point, we were taught not to trust our instinct and to leave, like, that little child behind. And I think once you're, like, reconnect with the child who just wants to play with paint and doesn't care what the result is, I think you're gonna go far, you know? I think that's the best thing I can tell, like, people, to be honest. Yeah. And read books. Read as many books as you can. There is Steal Like an Artist is great, and Keep Going is great. There is another book. Can I look it up?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Because I feel like I don't want to give people, like, just, like, not give them, like, a specific name. The Artist's Way. That's another book. Way. The Artist's Way. And then, what else? I think anything that has to do with business could also be helpful. Like, if you're a makeup artist too, Crystal Wright is an amazing, like, makeup artist / photographer's coach. And she had this book that, like, definitely made me more professional. The hair, makeup, and fashion styling career guide by Crystal Wright.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll plug them in. So
yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on.
It
was really informative, and I think it was really nice talking to you and, like, seeing your excitement and, like, your experience in the industry.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.